We're following new information tonight in the investigation into the death of actress Hayden Panettiere. Records obtained by NBC say Panettiere's ex-boyfriend and his brother were in the apartment where she died on Sunday. The CBC's Sarah Galashan has been looking into this for us. Sarah, what new information do we have?
Yeah, Chris, so it's now widely being reported from U.S. Outlets that Brian Hickerson was in that the complex in South Carolina where Hayden Panettiere, the young actress, was found unresponsive and died. Now, the thing about Brian Hickerson is that he, as you said there, her on again, off again, maybe on again at the time of this, boyfriend. The outlet, NBC, obtained the police report. They seem to be the only ones who have managed to do that, others reporting based on sources. But what we learned from that reporting is that it was Brian Hickerson, as well his brother Zach Hickerson, and a bag of medication also found in that same room where Panettiere was found unresponsive. It is unclear at this point who called 911. Also unclear what the cause of death is here. Autopsy results early on showing no obvious signs of trauma. The suggestion from the 911 call was a possible cardiac arrest. The coroner, though, is still investigating. The presence of Hickerson, Brian Hickerson specifically, it is notable because 3 months ago, Panettiere put out a memoir, so a recently released memoir in which she made allegations that she had been abused by Hickerson. So badly, she wrote, that she didn't leave the house for weeks. This was back in 2019. Now, in 2019, we also know that he was arrested and that he pleaded no contest to injuring a spouse or girlfriend. And at that same time, Panettiere put out a statement. It was reported by People magazine, among others. What she wrote was that I am coming forward with the truth about what happened to me with the hope that my story will empower others in abusive relationships to get the help that they need and deserve. I am prepared to do my part to make sure this man never hurts anyone again. I am grateful for my support system, which helped me find the courage to regain my voice and life. Now, we also know from that memoir that she dealt with addiction issues. She also dealt with severe postpartum depression related to the birth of her daughter in 2014. And all of these likely factoring, Chris, into the police investigation as to what the actual cause of death was here.
Well, I mean, her struggles that she's discussed with mental health, the fact she was in the public eye ever since she was very, very young, and it was very, very popular, just 36 years old. All of that has made this a huge story, particularly on social media and particularly for her fans.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are seeing the response, coming from those fans in the form of a growing memorial outside that South Carolina complex where, again, ambulances were called when they received that 911 call that she was in distress, unresponsive, and then, of course, and she died. In addition to the fans who have been speaking out about her, a child star who went on to these notable TV roles in Heroes and in Nashville, we are also hearing from her mother, and her estranged mother, important to say here, who has spoken to NBC. And in addition to calling her daughter amazingly talented, her mother said that this person in her life that we have been trying to get rid of for quite some time was with her at her death, and that was Brian Hickerson. So there certainly are some hard feelings, it would seem, in that relationship. Now, Hickerson was not only Panettiere's only ex, if you will. She also had an ex-fiancé who was also the father of her daughter, Kaya. Now, that is Vladimir Klitschko, who lives in Ukraine with Kaya, the daughter. But he has put out a statement, and he actually put out a picture that he posted to Instagram of the family. The little girl's face is blurred out here. And among the things that he writes, it's quite a lengthy statement, but he talks about wanting to make sure that Kaya, the daughter, is always aware of how talented her mother was. He will only speak positively of her. He does ask for privacy and calls this a very shocking time for the family. And I think just given all of the details that I've given there, one more time, very important to point out that at this point, there's no obvious sign of trauma to Hayden Panettiere. It's possible that this is cardiac arrest, but what we know is that the police are still investigating this.
Thank you, Sarah. CBC's Sarah Galashan.